All right, guys, like Garage Preacher used to say, this is a POL, or a proof of life video. Show you guys that I'm still alive. Yeah, we're working on the Case1845c. And as you can see, you know, we took the decals off. I actually took the decals that were on there off and put new decals on there, but now I've decided to go ahead and paint it the way I want to paint it. So we took the decals back off. Everywhere that I had deep gouges, I just took a round sand disc and sanded them out to smooth them out, and then kind of feathered the edges so that it didn't feel as bad. The gouges didn't feel as bad. And then if I hit bare metal, then we just shot a little bit of paint on there, just enough to cover the metal so it didn't start to rust. But eventually, you know, we're going to shoot this whole thing. As you can see, I started prepping. I got the pins taped off, and then we'll take these bolts out. So eventually, we're going to paint this whole thing. I'm going to do it with spray cans. I was going to order a gallon of the paint, but I decided to go with a couple of spray paint cans. That way, I can have 6 of those on hand. If I scratch it later down the road, I can always throw a little bit on there. But yeah, everywhere that it had some scratches on it, we took it down to bare metal, feathered that out, and just sprayed a little paint on there. Now we'll go around the front here, we'll look inside. As you can see, the handles are missing and quite a bit of stuff, all the linkage underneath and the shock absorbers that go in the back. If anybody has looked inside of an 1845C, you'll know what's missing. And then we have these T-posts up in here. My neighbor's gonna come over with his skid steer, and we're gonna take a set of forks and lift this right off. It is unbolted. There's 2 bolts here, 2 bolts there, a total of about 12 bolts in and around, and then the 2 big bolts up top there on the rollover protection bar. So everything's been unwired. The wires are wire tied to the side here, so when we go lifting that up and pulling it off, we don't have any issues with wires getting hung up anywhere. But yeah, this side is the same. As you can see, this whole side is almost painted because it was tore up a little bit. So eventually, we'll hit this with, you know, 220 and then paint the whole thing. But yeah, the Case1845C, we are putting work in on it. The living room is done. I know I had a video about the living room, and I want to show you guys something. So, you know, this is the bushing that goes inside this handle, and it was very, very sloppy. These are not the correct bushings that were supposed to be in this particular application. And when I went online, I had to buy a total of 8 bushings to make up 2 bushings because it was 11/16 by half inch by 7/16, 1 inch long. And this is 2 inch long. But anyway, so I called my trusted friend Lee, and you know, I'm a pain in his gazip, I know I am. But Lee, I can't thank you enough for what you do for me, because every time I call you, you get it done. He made some pins. Matter of fact, here are some of the plates that they cut on their laser cutter out there where he works. And then he welded some pins in there. And that was for this machine right here, as a matter of fact. Where in the world? Yeah, he made this pin and that plate for me to go in there. So yeah, Lee's done a little bit of work on here already. And today we just went and picked these up, and that's a perfect fit. It is 7/16 ID by 11/16 OD. They spun that out on a lathe, and I can't thank you enough for what you're doing for me, because every time I call you, you come through. I have the camera in one hand, but got new brass or bronze bushings in here, oil impregnated bronze bushings, and that is tight as everything. I love it. It's not so tight that it's not going to work, but it doesn't have any slop in it. I don't know if you guys seen it, but before the handles would move like this, now they only move like this. And I made it a standard bushing. We threw that on a drill press and ran a 7/8 bit through it. Yeah, there's the shavings from it, and that's the bit. We ran that through there so that way we could use a standard size bushing. It was just a little under 7/8 on the OD of the handle, and we ripped that out to 7/8. That way when I order bushings, I can order 3/4 by 7/8 bushings, and they're gonna fit in there every time. It wasn't really a standard size. I think Case had it that size, so you had to go to them and pay their $32 a bushing to get them. They weren't that bad, but you know what I'm saying. So yeah, we got bolts laying here, parts laying here. All this stuff was sandblasted. I threw it on the wire wheel and just wire wheeled it up to give it a little bit of a shine. Not that you're going to see it once the seat goes in place, but I'm going to know it's in there. So it just makes me feel better. My OCDism doesn't act up quite as bad when I do that. So wheels and tires are sitting over there. Eventually they're going to get broke off those rims. And once we get those tires off those rims, we'll probably drop the rims in the sandblaster and get them blasted up. I have watched a couple of videos on YouTube where these boys are painting them rims black and putting them on these Case machines. And I kind of like that look. And actually, we were looking at a gloss Battleship Gray. I was going to paint the whole machine Battleship Gray. And a couple of people talked me out of it, said, man, it looks better original colors, so just let it original colors. But that's what we're going to do. We got the Case Power Tan paint at $18 a can. Any other color is $7 a can, but not when you go with the Case Power Tan. They are $18 a can. So they got you coming, they got you going, but we'll get through it. My controls are now sitting over here, and they are done. Just waiting on getting that cage pulled off of there. Once we do that, then we'll start spray painting the inside of the cab. Once we get the inside sprayed, then we'll go ahead and put the controls back together and start on the exterior, getting that sprayed up as well. So guys, thanks for watching. If you haven't subscribed this month, as Rat Rod Bob says, subscriptions are free. Slap that subscribe button, hit that bell notification button. We post random videos. The guys that have been here a while, hopefully I'm entertaining you. We don't do how-to videos, just kind of show you what we're doing. Thanks for watching.